For today's video, we are talking about the surface area of triangular prisms. So our learning target day is I can find the surface area of non-rectangular prisms. Please write down the date that you're watching this for your own records. And then write down what you already know about this. So we already know how to find surface area of rectangular prisms, so you could write about that. And then our new thing will be non-rectangular, other types of prisms. So pause the video here, get all that written down. There's no vocabulary today, and then restart the video when you're ready to go. All right, so we're starting by looking at this picture, and here I have a triangular prism. And so when we look at a triangular prism, basically a rectangular prism is a shape that has a triangle on the top, and then you can see we have also a triangle on the bottom. So the top and the bottom are both triangles. You can also see that here if I highlight the outsides. There are my two triangles. And then if we were to unfold this and do the net, which is what we talked about in our last video, all of the sides, here we have a side, that's a rectangle. There's another side here, that's a rectangle. And then side here, which is a rectangle. So if we were to unfold this and do the net, we would have the top and the bottom, which are each rectangles, or sorry, triangles. And then if we unfolded it, we would end up with this one really long rectangle. So here I have one big rectangle, and I have two triangles that are the top and bottom. So filling it over here, I see that both of the top and the bottom for this triangular prism are triangles. And then the sides are one big rectangle. When I lay it all out, it starts with three rectangles, but when I lay it all out, it becomes one big rectangle with the net. If I folded this up, it would go back to being my cube. So my surface area is the area combined of my two triangles and one rectangle. So the formula we're going to be using is actually a formula that works for any non-rectangular prism. And it's actually a formula that you have access to when you take your MCA tests. Often when you take your map testing, they'll give it to you. So I'm going to make sure that this is the one that I give to you because it's the one that you're going to have access to on your standardized test. So I want to make sure that you have access to it. And so the formula is 2b plus ph. I'm going to explain what each part of this means. The B, that stands for base. In this particular case, this is the area of the triangle. The P, that stands for the perimeter of the triangle. And then H, that just stands for the height of the prism, which is the height of the rectangle. Okay? So to solve this, what we're going to always want to do is we're going to want to start by finding the area of the triangle and we want to find the perimeter as well as finding the height of the prism. Once we find those three things, we can just plug it in to our formula. So let's look at this one here and see if we can figure it out. If we want to find the area of the triangle, we know that the area of a triangle is the base times the height divided by 2. I also know that my base and my height have to form a right angle. So I see that I have a right angle right there. So because I have that right angle, I know that my base and my height are 4. Those are the two sides of the triangle that form a right angle. So to find the area of the triangle, I do 4 times 12 divided by 2. Oh, I apologize. This side is the 5. This side is the 4. So it's always good to be very careful because even I made that mistake. So this is 5, this is 12, and those are the two sides that form the right angle. This side here is the 4. I apologize. So my area is actually 5 times 12 divided by 2. 5 times 12 is 60 divided by 2 gives me 30. Then to find the perimeter of my triangle, all I have to do is add up the 3 side lengths. So I know this side is 12. I know this side is 5, so I'll do 12 plus 5. And then plus this side, which is 13. When I combine those three things, I also get 30. And then the last thing I need is the height of the prism. So the height of the prism is the number that is not part of the triangle. In this case, that's this number here. That side is only part of the rectangular. It's not part of the triangle at all. So my height is 4. So now that I know what B is, and I know what P is, and I know what H is, I can go back and fill that into this formula. So if I know that the surface area equals 2 times the base plus the perimeter times the height, okay, so we can fill it in. 2 times, well, my area of my base is 30. So 2 times 30 plus my perimeter, which was also 30, times the height, which was 4. 2 times 30 is 60. 4 times 30 is 120. So my final surface area is 60 plus 120, which is 180 feet squared. So that's the formula we're going to be using. 2 times the area of the base, in this case, the area of a triangle, plus the perimeter of that base, or the triangle in this case, times the height. So let's do another one together. If you would like to try it on your own using the formula up above, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, feel free to just continue watching the video and working this out with me. So we're going to be using, once again, the formula 2 times the base plus the perimeter times the height. So the first thing I need to do is I need to find the base, which equals the area of my triangle. I need to find my perimeter, which is the perimeter of my triangle. And then I need to find my height, which is the height of my prism. Okay? So starting with the area of the triangle. Here I see that I have a right angle right there. That means that right angle will also be directly above it right here. So looking at my triangle, I see that this side and this side form the right angle on the triangle. So to find the area of my triangle, I do 3 times 4 divide by 2, because that's the formula for the area of a triangle. 3 times 4 is 12, and divided by 2 is 6. 6 then is the area of my base. The next thing is to find the perimeter of my triangle. Perimeter is the length of the 3 sides going around the edges. I know those two are 4 and 3. And then this side I can tell is 5. So 4 plus 3 plus 5, that gives me 12. And then my height, well, my height is a number that's not part of the triangle. I see here, that's part of the rectangular sides, and it's not part of the triangle, and that length is 4. So my height is 4. Now I can just go back and fill into my formula. 2b plus ph. That equals 2 times b is my base, which is 6, plus p is my perimeter of 12, times my height of 4. 2 times 6 is 12, and 12 times 4 is 48. Adding those together, I get a surface area of 60 centimeters squared. So all we're doing here is going very, very carefully through each step, finding the area of the triangle and the perimeter of the triangle, which are both things we know how to do, and then looking for the height of the prism, and then filling in this formula. Again, this is a formula that you will be given on any assessment. So as long as you remember what everything stands for, you're going to be okay. We can also use this to help us find this formula to help us find the surface area of other types of prisms. So in this case, this is a hexagonal prism. And looking at this right away, it's really easy to go, well, I have no idea how we would even go about finding this. But let's look at the formula and see if we can figure it out. The formula is 2 times the base plus the perimeter times the height. Well, let's look at this. This is the base in this case equals the base in this case is a hexagon. But it also tells us that the area is 10.4. So we don't have to find that. Okay. What about then the perimeter? How would we go about finding that? It tells us that this side is 2, which means this side is 2. But if we see all these little lines here, that means that all of these sides are also 2. So then we can just add 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Which equals 12. Okay, so I have my base, I have my perimeter. So then the last thing would just be the height. Well, the height, that's the part that doesn't have anything to do with the base, doesn't have anything to do with the hexagon. Here I can see that that's 4. So even though that this was a weird shape, now I know all 3 parts of this equation. So I can just plug them in. 2 times the base, which is 10.4, plus the perimeter, which is 12, times the height, 4. 2 times 10.4 is 20.8, plus 12 times 4 is 48. Adding those together, I get 60 8.8. So even though this was a hexagon, and we don't really know much about area of hexagons and all that, we were just follow the steps, use what we know about surface area and this formula to actually work our way through the problem. So feel free to re-watch any parts of this video you found confusing. I know this is kind of a complicated series. Please let me know if you have any questions or need help with anything. Thanks so much and have a great day.